Oh, what about you? 2010 Nissan Qashqai with a 2.0 DCI diesel engine on it. Customer's complaint is it's dead as Hector's tractor. Okay, it's a 2-litre DCI engine. It's a Nissan, but this is an M9R Renault engine that's in the Renault traffic. And it's everybody's favourite engine, and I know before you say anything. But okay, we took it out for a test drive, confirmed customer concern, and yes indeed, it starts okay, it idles okay, and you take it up a hill and there's no power whatsoever. You get about past 3,000 revs and there's just no pull in it whatsoever. Revs all right and stuff like that, it's just no torque. So that type of complaint, we'll have to, get as much information out of the customer, the owner, as we can. There's no TDCs, never has been, and there's no lights on the dash whatsoever. So we know the 1.5 DCIs suffer from problems with the intercooler. There's an old plastic thing, it breaks and that causes boost pressure problems, which will give you a power issue. You'd expect maybe a DTC for that. The other thing is the dreaded DPF pipe at the back that blocks up, but that throws all sorts of codes, and it's pretty well known. This is a 2-litre DCI. This is basically out of a Renault traffic, so that's the way I'm treating it. I do a few traffic, so it's a similar sort of setup. So yeah, listen, going to start from the basics and scan for codes, see what the crack is, and away we go. So we've done a full system scan on it there. So there we go, 2010 Qashqai, and a few codes there. 2263, that's a common turbocharger system code. MAF sensor and IAT, they would normally be circuit codes, but no status, no current stored history, whatever. So didn't really like that. So put the launch on. So full system scan on the launch and same codes, but this time past, as in history in the past. So talk to the customer a little bit more about this and ask them, have you taken this car to anybody else, or who does your servicing or whatever? This car is the first time I've had this in my garage. I've never seen this car before, but I know the guy quite well, but he takes his car to somebody else, so that's up to him, that's dead on, So he did mention that he phoned his mate, and his mate says, disconnect the MAF sensor. And I went, all right, okay. Because if you have a MAF sensor code and an IAT code, that means, well, for the two of them is in the same component. So he's disconnected that. So turbocharger system. This is common for the actuator sticking, or there's no vacuum to it or whatever. So we'll have a wee look at that. So we'll go back onto the bonnet, we'll have a wee general visual inspection. So we're looking for, pipes that are off. Just have a wee look at the layout of the engine here and see if we can see anything. One of the questions I ask is, okay, when's the last service? When's the last time you got it serviced? What was the last, what is your servicing regime? Have you got a history? Do you mark it up in the book? All that sort of jazz, So there is a fuel filter with this kind of complaint. Yes, it could be fuel delivery issue. I would expect if there was a block filter, this car goes okay. It's just a lack of power. I would expect it if there was a fuel delivery issue. I would expect it more to, chug or sort of miss. If the fuel pressure wasn't there, if there was a problem on the low side, and no DTCs for fuel pressure whatsoever. So just having a wee look at this here. This is our vacuum pump. So on diesels and some petrols as well. you have to generate vacuum. So this is a pump that's run off the camshaft, and that's where it gets the vacuum from. That big pipe there, that'll go to the servo to supply the vacuum for the brake assistance. And then we'll have another couple of pipes here, that's teed off there up through that solenoid valve, and that's our turbo actuator there. So the pipes all look, they're all connected, they all look seem okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to test to see if there is vacuum, see if that vacuum pump's doing anything. The brakes seem okay, no big deal with the brakes, so I can get my hand down here easy enough, and I can give this actuator here, where am I? Here I am. So that is moving there. It's not stuck. So we'll maybe give that, we'll check the vacuum, and we'll see if this diaphragm here is okay, and see if that rod's going to move. It is moving, but see if that is actually going to move the rod. So just to confirm that fault code, it is a history code, or appears to be a history code. So when you work on a car for the first time, no idea the history, you sort of just start from the basics: fuel and air. So I'm just going to do a quick test on this actuator, this wee cheap vacuum gauge here. So pull that off and see if this is going to hold vacuum. So I'm just holding it on there, and yeah, holds vacuum. So that's moving. Right, so I've just disconnected a vacuum hose there. That goes on to the EGR cooler solenoid. So this is the saver's vacuum and the vacuum pump, just to make sure it's doing its job. So we'll start the engine. Yeah, vacuum there. So that's just a couple of wee quick tests there. Now, that sort of proves to me, a couple of pipes here. It doesn't prove that is actuating the turbo. It didn't prove any pipes there. It just basically proved the vacuum pump and sort of that pipe down to there. So it proves the actuator's working, proves that diaphragm is okay. So, that's just a quick couple of tests. Might have nothing to do with it, but we're a wee cheap gauge, and I'm just doing tests that are easy to do. So I think we'll look at a wee bit of live data. So a few data, heads up, engine's run. We'll just see if there's any reaction from that. Barometric pressure 0.96 seems about right. Let me see anything else interesting here. EGR. Yeah, when I drove this car at first now, I thought this thing might have a stick in EGR, but on these diesels, the EGR at idle actually does stay open a wee bit. So, but this data pad here, rather than back probing anything, the EGR is easy to get at enough, okay, in this car. But we'll just look at the live data and see if there's any activity, So the EGR is 18%. So we know that the diesels do stay open at idle just a wee bit, and then whenever you rev it, you want it to close. So, or you're looking for power. So what I was thinking was, this thing has no power whenever you give it the guns, give it the beans, and maybe this thing's sticking or something like that, So we'll have to give it a wee rev here. Yeah, it's going down to more or less zero there, so I like that. That's okay. This is just quick and dirty testing here, just quick stuff, you know, without going too deep and stripping anything down. So we had a MAF code. Well, what's that? 62%. That's not unreasonable. Mass airflow, kilograms per hour. I'm working sort of grams per second, and you sort of can't change units in this thing. Well, I don't think you can anyway. If anybody knows that you can or not, let me see. Where's the mass airflow? Well, it is reacting, so there's our res, but okay, I'm going to plug the autel in because I started working grams per second, so give us a second. Right, we've changed over to the autel, and this is just generic OBD here, so just see if there's any fault codes. Don't think there is. On generic anyway, it wasn't showing anything. So live data. So there we go. Calculated load 21%. 66. Much the same. IET 12. That's about right. Airflow now. That's in grams per second. So in the autel here, you can change the units there. That's in pounds per second there. It's back to grams per second. So I work in grams per second now. That's reacting okay. So there's 8, 9, 8. Right. 7. Okay. Not really helping out. I'd expect that to read about 13. So 2 litre diesel, you know, uses an awful lot more air than a petrol, what you would expect in a petrol. If that was a petrol, you'd be talking about 3 grams per second or something. The diesel for a 2 litre, you're looking at 13, or in around that, from this M9R engine. So generally rule of thumb, I think that's a bit low. So yeah, does he need a MAF sensor? But it's reacting okay. It just seems to be reading a bit low. So basics, check air filter. Well, it's easy enough accessed. Let's pull it forward to you a wee bit, and then up, and oh, look at that. I don't know where that's coming up in the camera with the light that I have on it, but I'll just move you out of the way here a minute. So what do you think of that? So it's actually trying to suck the thing, suck the thing apart there a wee bit. So that bit there is right on the, you know, the intake pipe. Where the intake pipe is, it's at the top of the air filter. So okay, right, that's not much good. That could be the cause here. Well, I haven't got an air filter to put in this here, so we'll just have a wee look, a few leaves in it. So we'll just give it a wee clear out, and we'll run this with no air filter and see if that makes any difference. Yeah, that's the air filter taken out then, the air box cleaned out, as you saw there. So we'll start her up. It'll take a big gulp of air here whenever it starts. Starts fine. It's sitting at 11, 10, 9, 10. Yeah, I thought it would have been a bit higher, but it's still in around the 10. Whereas before it was around about 8, and it was actually dropping to 7 when I snapped the throttle. Oh, it's making a hell of a noise now, but no air filter in it. But not a massive difference, but it's definitely knocked them down. It's not as low as what it was. So I'll maybe do a couple of recordings a wee bit before and after, just to see, because it just hasn't went up as much as I thought. There's 10. So it's in around the 10, whereas before it was in around the 8, I think. So we'll have a wee look at that. We'll just do a wee before and after. That's where the dirty air filter in. Yep, it's in the 8s there. Well, with the air filter removed completely there, it's up in around the 9, so it's a subtle difference, but we'll take it for a wee test drive here and see what the crack is, you know. But before we take it out for a test drive, just to confirm that fix there, it's just to clarify a couple of things that I said there, the way I put things there. When I say the diesel uses more air than the petrol, well, technically that's not really true, but what I mean by that is this is a petrol manifold, and this is a diesel manifold here sitting on the bench. So if I have a look, that if you want to call that the throttle body or throttle plate, that is open, and on the petrol it's closed. So this is the throttle. This is what controls, your revs. So whenever you put your foot in the pedal, it opens and it closes. That there. This one's pretty sticky, but it remains closed. It'll maybe be open a tiny wee bit for an idle scenario, but as you can see with this diesel one, this is completely open. So what's going on here? This isn't really a throttle body. I don't really like it whenever people call these throttle bodies. It looks like a throttle body, but that is an inlet flap. That's really all that is. So it stays open at idle. Now, whenever you turn the car on and whenever you shut a diesel off, you hear all this clicking and going on, like a letterbox open and closing. And that's this flap open and closing here, but it stays open. So at idle then, it's just sucking the full amount of air that it can possibly do. And whenever you call for power and stuff like that. So the purpose of this is not to control the throttle. So it's not really a throttle body then. So this is an inlet flap. So what this is for, it does a couple of things. And so it's properly called an inlet valve shut off motor or something like that. So what it does is whenever you switch the engine off, it will close that. You'll hear that closing, and that basically chokes the engine. So it starves it from air completely. The other purpose of it is that for a regeneration, or maybe under certain conditions, it will the ECM, the engine computer, can actually manage this. It can actually change the amount of air that's getting in. So under a regeneration, where it's trying to get the DPF up to extreme temperatures, it'll actually close this a wee bit, so sort of like enriching the mixture, what would happen on a petrol. So the other thing I want to talk about maybe is that EGR being slightly open and idle. So we'll maybe just have a wee look at that. So I said that this EGR is open slightly at idle. I think it showed about 17% on the live data. So what the thinking behind that is if you're sitting in traffic at idle or whatever, and this thing will be open slightly, and so that is to reduce the NOx emissions. This particular Qashqai is a Euro 5 with a DPF. So whenever you call for power, it'll pull that back, it'll rein that back in again. So you get a full, fuel air mixture, with no recirculated gases. So what I'm thinking is, because this particular model is recycling some of the exhaust gases at idle there, that MAF reading wasn't really what I expected it to be. I have footage there of an M9R, and it is indeed about 13 grams per second at idle, and here it is.
Yes, good answer, thank you. You'll always get them. I've forgotten the name of them because I'm here to get something. But you usually get them when the environment's quite sort of close and quite moist. So really, I just...
On that M9R engine, it's a different emission standard, so that EGR will be closed. So therefore, there's more air being sucked in. With the EGR open, then your grams per second that you see on the MAF sensor goes down, because it's not pulling the same amount of air in the cylinder from the outside world, and it's recirculating engine gases. So I think that's what's going on there, and that, to me, that makes sense. So we're going to do a wee test drive now. Right, we're going to take her out for a run here. Didn't see a massive change in the live data, but there was a change now. I expected that to be a wee bit higher, but sure. Oh, so up to about 3,000 revs. Yeah, she takes off. So that's a fix. Can't believe it's as simple as that. An air filter. So unreal. So yeah, so recommendation to the customer is full service fuel filter, oil change, cabin filter, the whole works. This thing hasn't been serviced in a while, or the simple things have been missed, so that is unreal. So I'm driving at night here, and as you can see, I'm not using any hands to film, so however the interior light is on, but I don't think I'll be alright. So we're going to go up a wee bit of a hill here and see if the power response. So if you remember, the customer complaint was whenever you get to about 2,500, 3,000 RPM, the car's just dead. It's just flat. So it's as if the turbo wasn't kicking in. It's as if that was the problem, So it's as simple as the car wasn't getting air in quick enough. So he did complain that sometimes on a cold morning it shook at idle a wee bit to start. So we're running the car with no air filter, and we're going up a hill. Oh yeah, that's just puts you into the back of the seat there. So this is a 2-litre version. So this engine is normally in a van. So we're revving to 4, and she just wants to pull. And we're going up a bit of a gradient here, and not much traffic about at this time, so we're okay. We just have to watch our speed. We're doing these test drives, so keep it all legal, guys. If you want to get into trouble for, I know you're trying to help somebody out, but getting yourself into bother at the same time by revving and doing all sorts of nonsense like that. So I'll just go back to base here, and there you are. So I'm going to call that a fix. Simplest fix ever. And yeah, well, thanks for watching. Maybe give you a few food for thought there. Some food for thought anyway. Fuel and air. That's the two things. That's the big basics in a diesel. Diesels use a lot of air, so far more than petrol. Any restriction at all, and it's going to struggle, as we've proved with this vehicle. So, many thanks for watching, as ever, and I'm just coming back to base here, and that is it. We'll give a customer a shout. I'm sure they'll be delighted, actually, at that's such a simple thing. So he's going to get a service. I'm going to recommend a service. You need the car service, mate, and that is it. And he's going to pay a wee bit of a diagnostic fee, not very much, because it wasn't too bad. It's pretty simple. Yeah, the airflow reading sort of put me to it, but you'll probably end up finding out yourself anyway, just by looking at checking the basics. But that's one thing that's a takeaway from this. Basics, and no stripping, don't take anything apart, so if you had a service this car, it would have cured it. But there you go. Alright, many thanks for watching, all the best guys, thanks very much, bye bye.